Good Tuesday evening, Midlands. I'm Chief Meteorologist Efren Afante. Update on the tropics. Well, still have this area of low pressure parked right over the southern parishes of Louisiana. Doesn't have a chance of development, but where that location is at least going to be impacting the eastern half of the southeast, including us, at least in the coming 24 hours. Meanwhile, still spinning, but really doesn't have the dynamics of tropical development. Only 10% chance off the New England coastline, and that is going to continue to still spin but not develop and move out into the North Atlantic. Then, of course, we're still tracking Tropical Storm Erin. National Hurricane Center came out with the update at 5 o'clock and its trajectory. The latest information, it is over 1,500 miles away from the closest Caribbean islands and by the leewards. Winds sustained at 45, gusting at 60, poorly disorganized. Excuse me, wind moving to the west. Its westward motion at about 22 miles an hour. Center pressure at 1,006 millibars. You get into the 1,000 range, it's not that strong. Once it starts getting into the 900s and the numbers drop, that's where it starts getting intense. There's this position way out closer to the Cape Verde Islands and a lot of space to make its way through across the Atlantic. Now, it is forecasted to stay as a tropical storm through Thursday morning. By Thursday afternoon, it becomes a Category 1 hurricane, winds up to 70 to 85 miles per hour. By Friday afternoon, it becomes a Category 2 hurricane with winds of up to 110. And then from Saturday going into Sunday afternoon and evening, well, it's a Category 3 hurricane. That's a major hurricane with winds potentially of 115 miles an hour. Now, not only is the forward motion move the cone further to the west, but its trajectory is also slid a little bit to the south. And a lot of people are just concerned that we're talking about areas right around the U.S. British Virgin Islands by Saturday evening, and then even possibly along the north shores of Puerto Rico by Sunday. Now, here's the catch. This is a 5-day track. It is skirting right along its far left side, but this is a 4 to 5 day trajectory. This will change, but the interest note is that a lot of people are seeing this as that will impact the Caribbean islands. It is too soon to say right now. The one thing that is almost as sure is that it will strengthen to either a very strong Category 2 or possibly a major hurricane by the end of the weekend. Where its position is going to be, I guess still to be determined. The 5-day tracks, though, the interesting thing is that the first 2.5 days, all the models are pretty much along the same trajectory. But then we get to Friday morning to Friday afternoon, and a lot of the models start shifting more towards the right side of the cone and stay there right through the end of the 5-day track. So we may get a guidance change for the update either tonight at 8 o'clock or 11 o'clock this evening, in which the trajectory of that cone moves a little bit more to the right or to the north. That would help when we're talking about areas from the Lesser Antilles and, of course, the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. And then the 7-day track, half of them are still turning towards the north, towards Bermuda, while some of them are still moving more towards the west-northwest, towards the southeast Atlantic coastline. Which one is it going to be? It is very early to tell, but at least we have a guidance of what we're looking at as we go through the evolution of Erin. As far as the weather today, well, the temperatures got a little bit hotter in the afternoon. Both locations for Columbia Metropolitan Airport and downtown Columbia started low as 77 degrees. Both end up with a high of 89. What's interesting is that that's the warmest it's been in the last week and a half. If you recall, last week we had high temperatures Monday through Friday, only in the 70s. We did get a little bit of rainfall, 1/100th of an inch of rainfall in the city. Over at the airport, 4/100ths of an inch of rainfall. As we got into the evening, though, even though in the background of Williams-Brice Stadium there was a lot of cloud coverage, but over the city, over the stadium, it was 84 degrees, but still very humid. Heat index was 93. Well, that Bermuda high is doing one major thing, which it usually does, pushes in all the warm moisture out of the Atlantic right into the Carolinas, and that's feeding into the flow coming in from the Gulf, pushing a lot of the moisture up into Georgia and South Carolina. But you see the feed, a lot of the showers and storms in Georgia and the low country were heading from south to north. But by the time they get into northern Georgia and into the Midlands and the upstate, it now starts turning a little bit more to the northeast. The bottom line is showers and storms are not going to last all night. And by midnight, all of that will be gone except for the upstate. So in the morning, we'll start off partly cloudy, a low is 73 degrees. And remember, it's going to still be very humid. So even though we have an isolated chance for an afternoon storm, we're looking at a high of 90, heat index potentially of about 102. Now, if you're heading to the upstate, temperatures from Wednesday through Friday will be in the upper 80s into the low 90s. Next chance of rain will very likely be in the afternoon on Thursday with storms. And then another chance for storms on Saturday, and then on Tuesday isolated. But notice the high temperatures will be in the upper 80s to low 90s. So not only be hot, again, it'll be humid. Heading out to Grand Strand, Myrtle Beach isn't expecting any rain tomorrow. High temperatures of 87 degrees, and then 86 to 88, bouncing up and down between Thursday and Monday. There will be a chance for afternoon storms on Thursday and continue on Friday. For now, the weekend into Monday, it looks rain-free. And then on Tuesday, a little more cloud coverage as temperatures drop down into the mid-80s. How about you heading out of the low country? Roll over to the Charleston Pier. 89 degrees for both Wednesday and Thursday with no rain. Bouncing up to 91 degrees on Friday with a chance for some areas, especially coastal inland low country, for some afternoon storms. Isolated storms maybe on Saturday, but the weekend high temperatures will drop into the upper 80s and back into the low 90s to maybe upper 80s to start next week. Then for here in the Midlands, we'll have the greatest chance of rain will be on Thursday with showers and storms, high temperature of 88 degrees. Then really won't have anything coming through. High pressure, if it still sticks, the Bermuda high off to our right, and then another high that's parked over the central part of the country. So we're going to be sandwiched in between highs. That'll give us an isolated chance for storms Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But the moisture's there, the humidity levels will be up. So we're talking about heat index temperatures. It's going to be close, if not over 100. But the air temperature Friday afternoon, 91. Saturday, 89. Well, back to 91 again on Sunday. But then Monday and Tuesday, mostly sunny skies, looking at a high of 92 on Monday to a high of 93 by Tuesday afternoon.